buongiorno. Welcome everybody to a new episode of War Room Italia. Today I have an incredibly important, special guest. War Room Italia is a channel you all know for the Italian public, and my aim is to bring the American heroes to the public knowledge of the Italian people. And today I have nothing less than a hero. She is a wonderful woman with a courage, a resolve, beautiful inside and out. And I have with me Tina Peters. Welcome, Miss Peters.
Thank
Mrs.
you
Peters.
so much, Guya. I appreciate you and other channels that will get the truth out. You know, we know that the propagandized mainstream or legacy media is not telling people the truth, and I appreciate shows like yours. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, thank you. I'm truly honored, Mrs. Peters. I am a great admirer of yours. I have been following what you have been going through. It's absolutely outrageous. Mrs. Peters will tell us, but she has been persecuted by the justice system, if we want to call it the justice system of her home state, Colorado, because she discovered fraud in the elections that she was entitled to monitor and make sure they were fair and square. And she presented evidence that they were fraudulent. And instead of giving her a prize, instead of awarding her, they went against her, especially the governor of the Secretary of State of, she will correct me later, of Colorado, Griswold is called, Jenna Griswold. And she went against Tina Peters in a way that is, to me, highly suspicious. You know, why would you want to go against somebody that discovers a crime? Maybe because you have something to do with it or not. Mrs. Peters, can you tell us firstly, what went on, to have a smaller recap of what went on and why that you are facing these absurd charges, and who put these charges against you?
Okay, thank you. So in the 2020 election came and went, and Trump won in our county. We're a very conservative county, but people came to me and they said, there's something not right. And I knew there were other things, Guya, that had happened across the United States that were very suspicious, but I did not believe it in my county. So I was the elected clerk and recorder, as that title, elected by the people. I had no boss but the people. I was over 5 divisions. The 5 divisions were accounting, were a recording, so you know all the titles and deeds and things like that for the county, and motor vehicles, so you register your cars, do all that, and the elections. So I handled all of the elections, from local city council elections all the way up to federal elections, presidents, you know, and state governors and things like that. So that was my job. My job was, as the county clerk and recorder, was to record and maintain records. And in this case, they were election records. I was told by the Secretary of State and Dominion voting systems, and I'm sure many of your listeners have heard of Smartmatic and Dominion and ES&S and HART, these voting machine vendors. I was told that they were going to delete a program on the computer that would have made it impossible for me to have conducted an audit should the people have asked me to. And so I raised concerns. I wanted to have and I wanted to have the press, and I wanted to have the people in there to observe this what they called a trusted build. And I was denied. I was denied from having any kind of oversight. So what happened next was I asked our county IT department, you know, that's over all the intellectual tech and the computers and such. I asked them to come in and observe. They and the county, the administrators, the people in the county, commissioners, the county attorney, turn me down. So it was my responsibility, because I took an oath to the Constitution of Colorado and to the Constitution of the United States to fulfill my duties. And one of those duties was to preserve these election records. I commissioned an outside consultant to come in, that I trusted, to come in and make an image of the election management system. Now, this did not collect people's personal identifying information. We call it PII. This was just a snapshot of what the election management system, the computer, if you will, of the elections before they came in, and then another snapshot, they call it a forensic image, after. These are all unalterable and admissible in court images that show what that looked like at the time. When the Secretary of State and Dominion found out that I had done that, they hit me hard. I was rushed to Texas to protect me. After my hotel room was broken into, I had 24/7 armed security until the first report came out. The first report, Guya, showed that they had deleted 29,000 of the people's election records. That was
This is the report you filed in March 2022.
That was actually the second and third report. The
The
first
second
report
and
that came
third.
out was in September of 2021.
Okay. And
And
and please continue. Please continue.
and those are on my website, tinapeters.us, and they've never been debunked. So the first report showed there were 29,000 election records that were deleted or overwritten. These are, like I said, vital election records. These are access log files. So for people that know computers, log files are very important. It's who went in and out of the system, what functions they performed, and that sort of thing. Audit log files and adjudication log files. These were completely deleted, 29,000. And on my website, if you look at the reports, report number 1, you'll see all the ones that were deleted are highlighted in orange. When they compared the first image and the second image, this is what it showed. So that was alarming enough. I took it to the commissioners of our county. I took it to the district attorney, who was supposed to investigate election crimes, and they did nothing. The next month, I was, so that was in September. They kept coming after me with lawfare. In November, I was raided by the FBI in a pre-dawn raid. For 6 hours, they rifled through all of my belongings, including the effects that some of them I had never even looked at, from my Navy SEAL son. I'm a Gold Star mom. I lost my son when I was running for this elected position.
I saw your son, a beautiful, beautiful boy, Remington, right?
Yes.
And for the Italian people, a Gold Star mom is the mom of a boy, of a person who has died doing service in the military. And her son was a Navy SEAL and a parachute, right?
Yes.
Division. And on Memorial Day, the 28th of May of 2017, he decided to leave and go and live in paradise. And Tina, believe me, your son is with you right now. He's fighting with you. I think he's the fountain of your inspiration.
Yes.
I am sure he is. I am sure. And and you're fighting together. I am a little bit like this. I feel that it's like that. So just to tell the Italian people what a Gold Star mom is.
Yes, my son was very important person as far as his integrity. And when people say, well, how are you remaining so strong? And I laugh and I say, well, I didn't raise a Navy SEAL son for nothing. And he is with me. And I do feel that, he's completing very much work where he is. And I believe that he also assists us here, and in the cloud of witness, cheering us on.
Absolutely.
So thank you for acknowledging him. You can see I have his behind me. Those are his medals and things like that on the wall behind me.
Let me
But
see. Oh,
and then
yes.
this picture behind me, I just received
Yes.
that. That was a supporter. That was the
The
outpouring of
painting, the painting.
the painting. The
Beautiful.
the outpouring of love and support and prayers, Gaia, have just been they've gotten me through. And I tell people, I say, what God calls you to, he will see you through. And with 2 days to go before this trial, and I'll get into some of the charges, um, I have no fear. If people can be persuaded by money, power, position, or fear, then there's a hook, and that hook can take you down. And so, I want to encourage people out there to be bold, to not comply, to stand up, because right now, and now you see in Venezuela, they're using these same machines. We're concerned about the election there and the elections before now. Where the Philippines knew that they were
Yeah,
cheating using these machines. There's 71 countries that have been influenced. Their elections have been
absolutely.
influenced by these machines.
Yeah. Just yesterday, I think a supporter of yours and a very important, influential person that is active in promoting and advocating electoral integrity, Mr. Patrick Byrne, he posted on Locals, and I think also on Rumble, a very interesting video because it talks about you and also about how Venezuela is involved and the history that is behind all this hacking, which Italy is involved too, by the way, as he explained. Olivetti was, the number one computer and typewriter at the time company in the world, and and of course, I'm Italian. We are the country of making things happen with magic, and of course they developed for the Venezuelans a way to rig not only lottery systems but also whatever is electronic. Tina, let me
That's
tell you,
right.
I mean, us Italians, we don't, like we say in Italy, we don't drink things easily, from that is told by the government. So we know that what we say in America, the problem is that they have the electronic machines.
That's
I
right.
mean, the fact anything that is electronic is hackable, is you can tamper it with. It is so obvious. So in America, and also you have these electronic devices, but you don't save in labor, in workforce, and like people, because you still have to have people who count. You still have to have. There's no. You don't save anything. You don't even save time. It takes you ages. It costs more because these are costly machines, and they are. I mean, it is incredible for the entire world, Tina. It is incredible for the entire world to see how the United States of America, despite everybody, from the Democrats to the Republicans, and for decades, despite they have admitted that these machines are not reliable.
That's
I'm
right.
not saying that they have been used for hacking. It is enough to say that they're not reliable and that there is a possibility for it, to discard them as a possibility to use for an American election.
Yes.
So I'm sorry if I put this in because you were mentioning foreign countries. All the foreign countries that use electronic machines have had fraudulent elections. Those elections were fraudulent.
Yes.
Period.
Yes. And it's interesting because they don't want you looking into the machines. They don't want you questioning anything. And that is the unfortunate, I don't want to say mistake, because like I said, I believe it was ordained that God had a clerk, an elected clerk in a small town, find this. I mean, this was meant to be, because if your vote doesn't count, or if it's diluted by fraudulent votes, then that your vote is so precious. And so if you look at what's happening in the United States with our borders, with the fentanyl, with the child trafficking, human trafficking, the wars that are very costly, that end up um, profiting people, the globalists that want to
Of course.
take down and control the world, literally.
Yeah.
And they need to take down the United States to do that. And that's why they've infiltrated our military with these deviant behaviors. People, the DEI, making sure that there's outright gays. I mean, look what just happened in Paris with the opening of the Olympics, for instance. And then God turned the lights off. I'm going to say God turned the lights off, in there. But this is pervasive around the world. And when you have George Soros and Lord Moloch Brown, these guys that are funding uh, um, secretaries of state in the United States that are over elections, and you have them funding DAs and judges and things like that to put them into office. That's what I say: money, power, position, or fear. If they can control you and they can put you into office and they can use these fraudulent machines to do that, then they not only control you, but they control the people. And Guya, the interesting thing is this 10-count indictment, it was carefully worded to not
Hmm.
include anything about the election machines, because they don't want us bring in the evidence that is
Oh,
so blatant to why I did what I did. And, and it's even more egregious that they would put in the lawsuit or in the indictment, the charges against me, the people versus Tina Peters. The people don't want this, Guya. These
of course.
these these subverted individuals that are standing up, representing or misrepresenting the people going after me, an innocent whistleblower. It's egregious. I've had over 700. There was just another one yesterday. 700 above the fold colored articles, front page articles on the local newspaper in order to taint the jury pool. And I believe, so the odds against me are really great because people on the street believe that I'm guilty because the propaganda. And I know you know a lot about government propaganda.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
what they try to get the people to believe. But I believe people are getting smarter than that. They realize they've been played, and they're going to be angry when they find out the truth
Well,
here.
there's one thing that unifies all people of every political flag, color, any nation, any ethnicity of the world. It is, we want to be able to have our vote counted. We want to be able to have fair elections. This unifies America because this is an attack to each and everybody's freedom. People can be against you because maybe they don't like your face, maybe because they think you're Republican, but they cannot not like the idea to have fair elections. And everybody should, my opinion, actually, I urge the American people. I'm in Italy, I can't do anything, but if I were in America, I would organize a group of friends. If each and everybody of you could organize a group of 5 to 10 friends and go and support Tina outside, and now you have a trial in a couple of days, not with the MAGA hat, with your clothes. You go out of your office and you go, because what you have to represent is the citizenry of your state of Colorado. Because if they take away your vote, they take away your freedom. And what you said before about the globalists, maybe the Americans don't understand that the globalist ideology is just another word for saying Nazism. I come from fascism. We invented fascism. Fascism was a socialism. Fascism is a socialist movement. In fact, it was the spin-off of fascism in Italy after the Second World War was Movimento Sociale Italiano, the socialist Italian movement. Mussolini in 1943, after he got freed from Hitler, made the Repubblica Sociale Italiana, the Italian Socialist Republic. Fascism is a socialist ideology. And Nazism was inspired by fascism. The difference is that fascism was nationalistic. We were concentrated to mind our own business here in Italy, while in the Nazism was international. In fact, they started bombarding all Europe because they wanted to gain control of Europe. Globalism is exactly that. Global is international, internationalism. Okay, it's a socialist. It is absolutely fascism to the purest definition, with the same techniques, using fear, propaganda, and derision of those who say the truth, like, oh, you are a non-vax, oh, you are a
Mm-hmm.
election denier, using terms they invent. Okay, they did them in Nazism, imposing medical treatments experimental on the people. They did it, and with lies have excuse to go and bombard the whole world, but with the life of your sons. And they don't give you free elections.
Yep.
They self-appoint themselves.
That's
Each
right.
and every citizen right now in Colorado have to understand the seriousness of this, because America is the leader of the free world, and Tina, and if America falls, there's no free place in the world left.
Yes.
You, Democrat viewer, go and support Tina Peters, not because you like her or because you don't like Donald Trump, because you want to have your freedom that is only America guaranteeing it to the whole world. Otherwise, we're all communist China, we're all fascism globalists.
Yes.
Sorry,
No, you're so right on, Guya, because that's been the propaganda. They've tried to pit us one against the other,
yes,
Democrats, Republican, white, black, so on and so forth. And but that's been their mode of operation, is if they can get us infighting with each other, then we don't look at the outside, the real who the real enemy is. And it's interesting because I was just listening um, to another broadcast where they were talking about, the black community. They have woken up. They realize the Democrat, agenda has been using them, and but it's not even just the Democrat. It's the Republicans that they've selected and put into office.
yeah,
And so you see them on both sides. So I just tell people, I say, this is not about Democrat and Republican. Stop fighting with each other. This is about the globalists. This is about the real enemy that wants to stay hidden behind and create all these fights and all these divisions between people so that they can continue to do their work. While we're fighting these small fights with each other, then they are winning. So we have to start reaching out. When I was running for office, Gaia, I walked door to door, and even in the 2016 election, I'd never been in politics before. I thought that people that were good at that kind of thing were doing that. And I would ask people that I trusted that were involved, who do I vote for? And I realized when I went to a meeting, I was one of 8 people before the 2016 election. And I said, it's we the people. It's not some other, we've allowed the responsibility of we the people, of the citizens, to be subverted by people that we thought had our best interest in mind. So that's
yeah,
why every single person, whether it's in Italy, the United States, in Germany, and in Venezuela, wherever it is, the Philippines needs to stand up. Denmark, look what they did to the farmers there. Um, you, we need to all stand up and say, I will not comply. This is my country. I elect you. You do what I say, not the other way around. These globalists want us to look at government as God. Because if they can take God out of our schools, if they can take God out of our, and keep us with COVID from going to church, and make it, take our children at young ages and start indoctrinating them, all the things, Gaia,
Well,
then
they take away God, because when you take away God, who becomes God? The government. You have
the
to shut
government.
up and believe the government.
That's
And
right.
in Europe, we have the elections with the paper ballot. But you know why we are allowed to have the paper ballots and not the machines? Because they rig elections in a different way. We have all these strange electoral, for example, in Italy, the electoral laws change by election to election. They invent. So now this year, only those who have accumulated 200,000 signatures to present themselves at the ballot can participate.
They've tried to do that here too. And the reason they do that is because
Oh yeah.
only the
Yeah,
wealthy can
can
afford.
afford.
That's right.
And but in America, I think your system, your electoral system, is more is more solidified, less changeable. Here is so dynamic. Just look what happened in France. Marine Le Pen won all France. Guess what? She's not ruling. The party who got the least ruled. So I mean, there are many ways of rigging elections, but with the paper ballot, it is harder to to change the vote from one candidate to the other.
Right.
That's impossible. Tina, let's come to today now, because in 2 days you have this trial. Okay. They are, you have some, there are some charges against you that are outrageous. They Do you think the jury or the jurors, I don't know how it works there, will take into account for example, evidence that maybe is not presented in court, but when you have to judge a person. I mean, I know they're not presenting this evidence like you said, about the machines that are hackable, etc. But consciously, I know they can be. So do you think this can help? I mean, I'm absolutely certain that the jurors and even the judges themselves, they might be corrupt, but I hope that if they are intelligent people, which I count they are, because if they have studied and came to a career to, even if unless they're threatened with life, but there is the support of the people, Tina. I think they can be by their conscience be influenced by the truth of the matter, that
Yes.
these are dangerous not only for themselves but even for their sons and their grandsons and the future of America. Do you think this will play a role? How do you feel about this trial coming up? And where is it? At what time? Where can people go?
Okay, so on freetina.com, just
Mhm.
freetina.com, some patriots have put up a website that has the dates and the times. So freetina.com, and then at tinapeters.us is you can watch the movie selection code, which
Yes, we
which you have
see.
the trailer for them to see. Reports that show their criminality. So all three reports, Mesa County Report 1, 2, and 3. And you mentioned, the one that came out in.
Let's show the trailer one
Okay.
moment of the movie selection code that everybody right now, as soon as you finish watching this, everybody has to go to tinapeters.us. This is the where selection code, you see, this is tinapeters.us. You go there is the tab selection code, click there, and you can watch the movie. It is incredible. I watched it. It is amazing.
And upon examining those records, there are log files that deal with adjudication. Those are gone.
They're all gone? All of them?
Yes. They would have been gone if I hadn't have done a backup. These people are being selected, not elected. And when the person's vote isn't being honored,
Then it's all just an illusion.
something has to change. If I have to hand count every single election from here on out, that's my commitment to the people.
What if it costs you your life?
Then I'll be with my son. I raised a Navy SEAL. I'm a Gold Star mom. Lost him 4 years ago. My blood and his blood is the same. I love this country. I believe this is our last chance to save it. And if we don't get this fixed, if we don't expose what they're doing, I believe we've lost this country.
Nobody can refute the apart from the innocence, but even the bravery and the good work that you did, and the fact that these elections are absolutely not safe, and that they have been rigged. Period. I mean, no
Yes.
question about that.
And you have to think, why would they be coming after a woman in a small town? Like I said before, it's because they know that the gig is up, that people are going to find out, and they need to silence me and show me to be a criminal. So you've got the first report, the second report that came out that showed there were 36 wireless devices. You could even access
Yeah.
the system from
Yes.
the
Wait
outside.
1 second. I'm going to show the second report, March, that he presented on the 2022. I looked through it. It's a PDF you can download. I will put the link here below the description of the of the video, so you can download it and see what has been brought for evidence. And so I will put all the links, Tina, on the description below, so that people can actively see everything.
Yes.
Sorry, I
You know,
interrupted.
so with the wireless devices, by law, they can't even be certified to use if they're connected to the internet or have the capability. And of course, we found out that they were connected to the internet and had the capability. The third report. So I'm taking these to law enforcement, to the DA,
Yes.
the district attorney, and they're not doing anything, right?
No.
But I'm being persecuted and prosecuted. So then the third report came out after I was indicted with the 10-count indictment, 7 felonies and 3 misdemeanors, all bogus charges that showed how they actually flip. And you'll see that in the movie Selection Code. But the interesting thing about, and they can see the indictment in the website as well. The interesting thing about the indictment is there's like four charges of influencing a public servant. So here I'm being accused of influencing a public servant that's sitting there deleting and wiping my people, the constituents that elected me, wiping out their election records. But I'm being accused of influencing that.
How? Influencing how? Or they just say
Evidently,
influencing?
because I secreted a person in to
Yeah.
observe the trusted build. And
Yeah.
that was my right as the clerk and recorder. It's my office. I'm
Yeah.
elected by the people. If I want to do an investigation, if I believe there's something nefarious going on, that is my right. And that's to stand up and to the oath that I took to protect their election records. That is what a Mesa County clerk and recorder does. And
Yes.
so,
It's guilty.
so that's there are charges like that I impersonated someone, that I stole somebody's identity, things like that. And you'll notice it's very cleverly done. And they would, for the grand jury, they would not let us present our side. We asked. And so the jurors in the grand jury only got to hear a very, very biased, one-sided view. And of course, they presented a true bill of indictment.
Amazing. Amazing in a terrible way. Listen, what I'm serious now. What do you expect? How would you expect this trial to go?
So, I have a great team. I'm so proud of them, and they've worked really hard. I believe that we will prevail, but I need prayers, obviously, because this is a good versus evil. It's definitely a good versus evil. I've seen the evil in the eyes of the district attorney, and actually, I've seen he actually brought in the deputy attorney generals that are Jenna Griswold's attorneys in the state of Colorado swore them in to be prosecutors as well. So this is not, this is, Merrick Garland has been involved in this since the very beginning because they have so much to lose. So we're dealing with good and evil. So I definitely need the prayers. And that I would ask people for that. I'd ask people, it's very expensive, if they can, to donate. But to be here, if you like what you said before, Guya, I believe that this trial is going to be a revelation to many, and I pray that the judge will do the right thing and let the evidence, the real evidence, come out, and that this won't be a sham trial like the Mershon trial with Trump or the Fani Willis trial, that it will be a trial where the people are represented, that they have a voice, and not a corrupt district attorney and attorney generals, and hopefully the judge will be fair and allow these in. So far, he hasn't allowed any of the evidence in, Guya, which is very concerning. And
He's
then
afraid. He's afraid. The judge is afraid. The judge is under threat, evidently, or like they used to say, there was a Pablo Escobar. They used to say to the people who didn't want to comply, my friend with the gun, it's either oro or plombo, gold or lead. Okay.
right,
Right, and that's the fashion they deal with these people. It's very telling. First of all, just to let you know about the good and evil and how these people are evil. The Jenna Griswold, I looked at her. People don't know, I'm an artist, and I paint. And my specialty is I do portraits, draw and paint. Yeah, all my life, and it's
all right. Well,
but so
I'll
I
expect one of
observe.
those.
So I observe. I absorb the art all my life being in Italy, and I observe the expressions of the people and the
Yes.
facial features, and they're very telling because the facial features are what comes out from your inside. And it is evident that the Jenna Griswold, as soon as you look at her, you could tell that she was a loser in life, and now she's in a position of power. She would never ever be in that position unless she would do the dirty things that she's supposed to do. And she has also that resentment against the world because she's ugly. This is my personal opinion. She's physically and internally inside ugly. And so she has resentment, especially against, and when they have the chance to go against the beautiful women like you, intelligent, of integrity, and I am a really I have no words to describe what an incredible all you went through. You're a cancer survivor. You survived your son, who was a Navy SEAL, a beautiful family, live in a beautiful state like Colorado. For her is like a Christmas. It's her revenge to so they show all the evil, and they are what they are. But evil, unfortunately for them, is not something that is stable in the universe. It can last a little bit, but then truth, goodness always wins at the end. They should be careful because sooner or later they will pay for the things that they do. And she should also be careful because the people who use her to do these things, for example, like this dirty thing against you, the second that they don't need her anymore, they just discard her like a dirty sock.
Yeah.
Okay. So they think they're smart. Even the judges, they think they're smart, or that by complying, everything will go fine in their life, but everything will go just downhill. Like it will be a mess from the moment they comply with evil, from the moment they gave their service to an illegal act, an unjust act of this gravity. The moment they will comply, everything, even in their private life, will go bad. And the money they will make, they will spend it in buying medicine, we say.
Yes.
This is the truth.
These are
proverbs. These are proverbs that come since 2,000 years. You know why? because they're true.
They are true.
They are true. But if you do the good thing, maybe you suffer one day, but for the rest of your life, the world will consider you a hero. For the rest of your life, the
Well, I
people
tell
will
people,
thank you.
thank you. Thank you for those kind words and those words of warning to those that do evil.
Yes.
You know, I've said often that, you know, if you can't compromise with the devil, because he
No.
will always come back and get his due. He will always want the repayment. And whatever it is, if you are succumbing to dishonest, means, in this case, it is going after an innocent person who is standing up for you, actually. I'm standing up for the DA. I'm standing up for the judge. I'm standing up for these prosecutors to sound the alarm that, listen, I want your vote to matter too. I'm standing up for the Democrat. I'm standing up for the Republican, the Green Party, whoever. I want your vote to count too. I want your vote to count too, whether you're black, brown, white, or any other color or any other persuasion. I want your vote to count too. So, with them coming after me, you're right, they're actually slitting their own throats,
Yes.
because if they allow this, and this is a global thing, like we've discussed, that's been discovered. If they allow this, if they allow them to the deep state to take me out, they're going to allow the proliferation of evil to continue to overtake us. And so pray for the DA, pray for the judge.
Yes.
Any momentary greatness on their parts, whether it's position, which I believe they've probably been offered position because or money, and because Merrick Garland, like I said, the corrupt Merrick Garland, the Attorney General of the United States, has been involved in this. Of course he has, because that's how Biden was elected.
Yeah.
That's how these people got into power that are destroying our country and destroying our world. So they have to take down.
Only the guilty want to stop the justice to do its job. Sorry.
That's right.
So like we have to do a conspiracy to understand who is behind it. Just look who doesn't want the discovery to happen.
That's right.
Like
But if you look, you'll
even
see that
Dominion,
come up.
even Dominion. I saw the CEO of Dominion, Paulus. He committed perjury. He said they could not be connected to the internet. They can be connected to the. What do we do about that?
Yes.
What do we do about that?
And that's a good point, Guya. You keep, as people, and right now, I mean, you could see from the assassination attempt of President Trump, the people didn't run away screaming. They made sure he was okay, the people in the audience, and then they started putting their cameras on up to find evidence of who was doing it. They didn't care about their own selves. That's the patriotism. That's the
Yes,
real America.
that's America.
And that's the real America. And I think that's the real global. I really do. I believe the people that are trying to destroy the country, all the countries, have been propagandized to believe a lie, to believe that socialism or Marxism or communism is the way. But
Marxism has a hold, like we say in Italy, you're not young if you don't if you aren't a communist, because when you're young, especially 18, 19, 20 years old,
very
you don't know
idealistic.
nothing of the world, but
Nope.
you think you know everything, of course, and that your parents are like old mummies,
Yep.
of ancient Egypt, and that you have the answers in your pocket, and they believe that the world is good. They believe that the people are there for sharing the bread with you. They don't understand it's the exact opposite.
No.
So they take advantage of these young boys. They give them some drugs so that they're even a little bit more confused.
Right.
And then they use them to justify when they go on television. We have support. No, you have just a bunch of stupid kids filled with drugs that you bring in and that you allow.
And that they fund
That they
the media.
fund.
That's
Exactly.
why your show and others like this are so important, because they are these criminals. I call them all criminals. They are buying up newspapers. They are buying up networks. They are, I look back at the Fox News
Yeah.
and the and Dominion. It's
Yeah.
so obvious that to people that know that BlackRock owns major shares in Fox News and Dominion. It was all a charade, all a sham to put it out there that, oh my goodness, we really don't have anything about to Dominion, so we're going to transfer $787 million over. That was all for optics. There was no truth in any of that. But you can
Not
see
even the weather, not even the weather forecast is correct in those media. Because, for example, make you an example. If this weekend there are some elections, they're gonna start saying alarm hurricane. Okay, so it demotivates people from going out. If there is a rally of Trump, they're gonna say possible asteroid fall on the. Okay. And it's true, and
right.
it's not true.
No,
Anything
no.
to put fear, and the fear, notice this thing, when the people in the news, Fox, MSNBC, whatever, they gave the news, they always hyperventilate when they speak. They're not calm, they're not reassuring in their tone. They're always like, let's say nothing happened, they say it could have been a tragedy, and so you're already alert, but nothing happened. But in the meantime, you already have tachycardia. And this tachycardia is done on purpose, because in psychology, when you are emotionally touched, you can instill in them a thought. So the propaganda is most especially done through psychological methods, like the COVID, right? They would
Yes.
continuously put the number of the deaths or the cases on. It was continuous. Why? To keep always the people. So people should just throw away the television. Throw it away.
Mm-hmm.
Throw it away. Don't watch Fox News. Read the
Yeah.
newspaper rather. At least you avoided the hyperventilation tone.
Well,
Okay?
in my town, if you read the newspaper, you're going to get even worse propaganda
Mm.
targeted at me. So, um, but I really believe this. I'm looking forward to the trial. I feel very confident that the truth will come out. I've said that what God brings you to, He'll see you through. I have great faith. Um, and if God allows me to go to prison, I mean, they're trying to put me in prison for 20 or more years. Um, and if He allows that, there's a purpose in that too. I just don't feel like, just like when I had lung cancer, and I said to God, that was in 2016, a year before my son died, a year before I was elected as the county clerk by the people. And I said, okay, God, if this is my time, I said, I'm okay with that. I said, but don't let me leave here until I've accomplished everything you sent me here to do. And I think that each
Yes.
and every person across the globe needs to ask that. God, why am I here? What is my purpose? What do you want me to do? I will raise my hand and I will do. And I said to people, I said, as soon as I prayed that prayer, I knew I was going to live and not die. I mean, it just came over me that I did not have to fear death anymore, that I wasn't going to die. But I asked Him, I said, don't let me ever forget that deep, dark place where people that are facing death, where they experience, because I want to be able to relate to the people. I want to be able to, because unless you've gone through it, you don't understand. Unless you've lost a child, you don't understand. There's a certain thing that happens with all of the experiences that you go through that make you unique. And so embrace those things. Let God use those to propel you to your purpose. And, I used to say, and I still do sometimes, that all I want to hear at the end of my life is, well done, good and faithful servant. And one day I heard come into my mind, and I believe it was God speaking to my mind. It says, read the rest of that scripture. And it said, because you've been faithful in small things, I will give you governance over much. This is not our end destination. We are here for a period of time, and what you do here will influence what you do, what I call on the other side, and how you can be trusted. And trust is a big thing. The people trusted me to protect their election records. They trusted me to take care of the things I was charged with in my duties and responsibilities as an election official. And so they could go on and enjoy their lives. So they could go on and go to their children's basketball games or soccer games, or, um, you know, live their life.
Yes, it is evident, Tina, that this is beyond a trial of just if you had the authority or not to do the backup of the files. This is something that transcends, let's say, the small, the narrow thing of the trial of how you manage to secure the elections. This involves a deeper sense. It involves future generation. It involves the future of America, the idea of freedom in the world. It matters the entire world. And just imagine how important this trial of yours, and you are the Joan of Arc here in this situation. And what you said about the prayer and God and faith, yes, if you are a person who is faithful, you certainly have no fear. Fear is only for those who have lost contact with God and lost that kind of umbilical cord to our Creator, which is your fountain of inspiration that tells you read the rest of the scripture or do this or do that. But I want to say something even to those who say, I don't believe in God, because despite your religious beliefs, you have to, and people have to understand that our life, this present moment, just imagine each and everybody of every one of us, everybody are living in a present moment that is not the future, it's not the past. It's an infinite breach in the universe. And we are the sons or daughters of millennia, millions of years of people or creatures that found themselves by chance, fell in love, made love by chance, gave birth to somebody who later by chance fell in love, made love, and gave birth to somebody else who for millions of years, all this chance, everything happened to give birth to you. And you right now are here. And this is the most incredible miracle of everybody. And this, regardless if you believe in Jesus and Mohammed, or you don't believe in anything. This is your life. This is your, and what do you want to do of this miracle? You want to become a piece of S? You want to just throw it away with doing drugs? Or do you want to make it, do you want to become a hero in your life? Do you want to make it a masterpiece? What do you want to do of your life? Do you want to do something meaningful? Because all of us, I have the certainty that we live forever, because our soul is the spark of life. Life is a flow from my parents. They're all inside of us. Okay. And we carry it on to our sons. But if we don't have sons or children, it just returns to the infinity. But it does not die, the light is all eternal. But at the same time, you have to understand that you might die tonight. I might die tonight. I walk outside and the brick falls on my head. Who knows? What do you want to do of it in the meantime? Do something meaningful, do something courageous, and then what comes, you will deal with it later. Don't fear.
And do something that's good, because
And good, of course.
some people will go out there and do something they think is meaningful that is very evil. So make sure that you're following the light. You're doing things that are good.
That is benevolent.
Yes. Don't let any of that evil. Don't let evil invade your spirit. Don't let it take up
Yes.
residence within you, because it's meant for destruction.
Okay, Tina, in conclusion now to our interview, do you have something to say to the people who are following you? How do you want to, what the message do you want to give? I will be praying for you. I believe in God.
Thank you. Thank you.
1,000%.
So when you talk about the people, that's really what gets to my heart. I love the people, and that's why I did what I did. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate your support. I appreciate your prayers. I appreciate you standing up during this time to not only support me, but to support those that are doing great things. We need your support, whether it's showing up to my trial, that kind of support, whether it's prayers or sending up well wishes, whatever it is. I want to tell you that has made the difference for me. I haven't had one day of fear, which is very unusual. If I have a bad day, which everybody has a bad day, I get up and the next day and it's over. I brush it off and I go, okay, I'm putting my sippy cup down and get my big girl pants on, and we're going to get back out there again. And so you want to make sure, for me, that it doesn't matter how many times you fail in life. It matters that you get back up and you keep going and make your life count. And I just want to tell you, I love you. I appreciate you. There's so many heroes out there. People have called me a hero and all that, but really it's you. It's the people of the world, the people that are fighting the battles to prevent these evil people from taking place, and they're speaking out. So just in closing, I would say that, if you see something, say something. Be the one with the camera that can get the evidence of any wrongdoing, and be shine the light on these criminals, because in the past they've been allowed to do what they've been allowed to do because they've been allowed to do it in the darkness. But when you come along and you shine that light on that situation and expose these criminals for who they are and be brave about it without fear, you will succeed, and we will all succeed together. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Tina. That was such a beautiful message to your fellow American citizens of Colorado and the United States, and very touching. Yes, please support this wonderful lady. You have incredibly high costs for the legal, and you are a victim. So, people, please support Tina Peters there in America. Please do, because she needs the funds to defend herself by this outrageous attack, because she is standing up for you all and for us also here in Italy. In fact, even to us Italiani, please, if you want to contribute, you know where to go. You go to Tina Peters here. Oh, there is a freetina.com and a tinapeters.us. Okay, so both can be. You can go either here or there. You can follow and know where the following trials will be. I will put the links below. Tina, thank you so much. Thank you
And follow
very,
me on
very much.
X. Follow and share on
Yes,
X. Yes,
yes,
at Real Tina
absolutely. What
Peters.
is your X handle? I will put it out.
It's at Real Tina Peters, and tag in. We want Elon Musk to read those reports and examine the images. Have
Okay.
his engineers do that, because we want the whole world to see what they've been doing that they're trying to hide.
Yes, look, Elon Musk is a person who understands, who went through a lot in his life. He's a very deep person, highly intelligent, much above average, is to say, above the high. He's a highly intelligent and a person who I understand wants to help out. And please, Elon Musk, help this wonderful woman and America and the world.
Thank you.
Grazie, Tina. Bye
God
bye.
bless. Thank you.
Bye bye. Okay, everybody. Now, thank you so much for having watched this interview. It was a pleasure for me, an honor, having introduced to the Italian public this incredibly saddening story and also incredible battle for justice in America. I please again, I can't stop saying it more, help this lady to go through this trial. It is of monumental importance. We have to break the ice or give the first hammer to the wall and the first hit to the wall, because if we start winning at least one trial, then everything else will fall with it, and you have to have these elections fair in 2024 in November. Thank you so much. Ciao a tutti, alla prossima. Ciao.